Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Henry Jen, Focus Online Manager. It's a great honor for me to open this great webinar course this afternoon. We are delighted to have everyone join us here today. I hope you will take the time to learn and interact with our sales manager and AE team. Please feel free to put your question in the chat box. We will answer whenever it's possible. So here I will pass our time to our product sales manager, Edwin. So Edwin.
Hi everyone. Okay, so today, welcome for today's webinar on our ePaper series. This time around, this webinar will be more detailed. That means we also show a demo of how to use it. That means how to configure it in ePaper. Okay, so let's start with actual details about what this ePaper or e-ink is about. I think some of you who are new may not be quite familiar with this e-ink or ePaper technology. This has been out for the past few years. You see this in like things like e-readers like Amazon Kindle or Koba or some other brands of e-reader. So we're going to use this technology for industrial use. And what happened is that it's basically the same technology, put it this way. So e-ink has a few advantages. Things like very low power consumption, okay, 180-degree wide viewing angle, sunlight readable, and it's very low power. Okay, so it's actually a very, very attractive option, especially when you look at certain verticals. Like say, for example, I'm going to use it for signage use, where I'm going to, especially when you think of outdoor signage. So outdoor signage, what is the default? Usually most people do it. I mean, let's say 10 years ago, people started to look into LCD screens that's very, very wide screen and high brightness, which you can put outdoor. But then when you put outdoor, you also worry about a few things. Number one, for LCD screen, right, if you want to put outdoor, you need to increase the backlight. When you increase the backlight, you increase the heat. Higher heat is generated. More power is needed to have the backlight to increase the brightness to something where you can read readable. Then when you increase the power, heat also increase. Then you must find a way to dissipate the heat properly. But if you're outdoor, there's no aircon, there's nothing. So the environment is actually also quite hot. And that causes the screen, the lifespan will not be long. And the other thing is that you need more, when you need more power, where are you going to generate that power? Is it adequate? Say, for example, I put in a bus stop, or where have a bus stop signage, or maybe on the roadside have a roadside signage. At the bus stop, so sometimes people also want to see what's the bus number. Can I do some changes? Okay, so typically it's still static, but e-ink actually, this technology is a very good alternative. Number one, it uses less power. The ink, okay, when it's already displayed, actually they don't consume power. It's only when they change, then they consume power. So in a way, it's actually quite power saving. The only thing is that it's not designed to be quick switching. So for certain applications, it's very, very useful. So we have Chapter. We invited Chapter. He's actually from the company behind our ePaper series in terms of the technology, and he will basically elaborate more about how this technology works and how it helps raise environmental awareness, especially when everybody's talking about green power or this kind of thing. So let's start with Chapter.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am Digitalized from Inc. I will be presenting on behalf of Inc. and I will introduce about Inc. technology and share more ePaper applications. In the past 2 years, the human lifestyle has been changed because COVID. However, we cannot ignore the other serious problem, which is climate change. It's not only impact mankind, but also make ecological catastrophe. Two numbers we should keep in mind, 51 billion and 0. 51 billion is how many tons of greenhouse gas the world typically adds to the atmosphere each year. Net zero is our target. As Bill Gates said, let science and innovation to lead the way and make sure all solutions can be applied on the whole world. There's no time to wait, we should start from now on. During 2021, we saw multiple natural disasters wreaking havoc in different places of the world. Abnormal floods, cyclones, and fire took place worldwide. In beginning of this year, the Tonga undersea volcano and tsunami took several lives. These situations are becoming more severe. It is a warning. We need to do some actions. Let science and innovation to lead the way. NASA come up two solutions. One is mitigation, reduce the carbon emission or any damage for our planet. The other is adapting to life in a changed climate. The next question is how to execute. We come up with a slogan ABCD. A is AI, B for big data, C means cloud or any connection, D is display and device. Maybe after this speech, you will add E for ink technology. By these ways, we input these solutions into life and shape our new normal. For example, paperless reading and writing. Any solution should be sustainability and become ecosystem. For example, if we want to reduce carbon emission, one of ways is avoiding deforestation and using more recycled material. Besides recycled material used, ink technology is another solution for carbon emission reduction. Its bistable and reflective property make paper alive. Using electricity drive ink particles. When image update is completed, ePaper will not be needed electricity anymore to maintain image on ePaper display. This image will remain until next time you update it. No further power is consumed during the waiting period. Just like paper, but better than paper. Based on our assumption, we are losing 15 billion trees per year. Most of them are used to packaging and writing. Especially during COVID period, people rely on e-commerce a lot. The paper carton quantity is over 100 billion per year. Most of them are one-time use and cause huge waste. Now, more and more countries are encouraging people to use reusable bags, especially in Amazon and China Jingdong. In order to make a strong reusable bags, they pay a lot of effort on material study, but the last mile, they still use the paper shipping tag. We leverage ePaper low power consumption property and combine with another technology such like NFC and UHF for energy harvesting. Our EPD can driven by NFC and UHF power. This combination provides the batteries-free display solution. To work with Advantech, we can make the last mile happen, and all materials are reusable. Just like we said in the beginning, let science and innovation to lead the way, and we are prepared. Thank you for your listening.
Okay, so let's continue from here. So thanks, Jetta, for the brief description. So now let me elaborate a bit more about ePaper, what you call the SWOT analysis, the strength, weaknesses, opportunity, and threat. So you have a better overview what ePaper can be used for, and also the key strengths. So first, we look at the strength. Basically, as mentioned earlier, the ePaper basically is very low power consumption. You can run on battery. That means you do not really need to have a power source. Okay, you can run on battery. When you, like I mentioned, when you actually display certain things on the ePaper, it's actually stuck there. When it's shown, there's no power to let it continue on. Unlike an LCD, where you have to really power on. The power is only been used when you want to change the image. It's reflective in nature, so you can put it outdoor. So you can actually self-reflect, so you're able to see it properly. Okay, you don't need to, like a typical LCD, we have to increase the backlight in order to read. Okay, wide viewing angle, high contrast, and thinner and lighter than LCD display. Okay, so now in terms of weakness, it's slower to refresh an LCD display, because LCD display basically they go by frame per second. It can be very, very fast. So usually for ePaper, you don't design it in such a way. Mostly, let's say for example, you want to do digital signage for advertisement. No, that's not the purpose. is more for information, like a bus stop, or maybe certain static signage where you want to replace static signage. I want to change the certain image accordingly, but not at very, very quick rate. Okay, fewer colors supported and fewer fonts supported. Okay, ghosting effect is only applicable if you're going to retain that image for quite some time. Okay, then you worry about ghosting image, but typically this is quite rare. Now comes to opportunity. Where ePaper, the sweet spot for ePaper, where is it used for? Very useful for outdoor signage. Like I mentioned, it doesn't consume much power. So in the sense of a running cost, it's far reduced. You don't worry about the lifespan of the display. It's also used when you want to do infrequent refresh. Let's say healthcare, bedside notice. This, like in the hospitals, the old time is that there will be a small signage. Either it's paper, you have to keep changing the paper, or you have a small LCD where you indicate name, can it eat solid food, or anything to watch out for. This for nurse to see so they know how to handle that patient. So with this ePaper, you can keep switching and swapping the information accordingly. Okay. It uses very little power. In fact, it can be batteryless also, so you don't need to think of the wiring. The warehouse logistic, where are the items kept, how to update them. Meeting room booking system, this is very useful. Okay, and also events booking, similar. Now, the only threats that we see is component shortages. So right now, everywhere, as everyone knows, component shortages has gotten quite bad the past few months. The lead time has stretched in terms of a few months, not just in weeks. So unfortunately, ePaper also uses all these IC, also faces component shortage issues. Okay. Now, that one thing I like to highlight about ePaper is there are industrial type and there's consumer type. So I often face these queries from a lot of customers. For certain industry, let's say, for example, in supermarket, typically in the hypermart, you see labels, ePaper labels or e-ink labels for the food stuff that you're in. These are what we call consumer ePaper. They are very small in terms of battery capacity. You don't really update it. It's very rare you update it. Okay, there's no button LED, and sometimes you can't customize it too much in terms of the image. And usually, because of the lower cost of this kind of consumer ePaper, the panel may burn out because it's not meant to withstand very high temp. So there's a lot of constraint in terms of consumer ePaper. Then when you look at Advantech, we are focused on the industrial business. So our battery is far larger. Okay, you can hold the information far longer. Okay, so you can do more frequent updates. There's multiple buttons and LED, which you can do some programming on it. Okay, and also the specs, panel specs also can withstand higher, also have longer lifespans. So two-way communication, you can also report health status and also more colors. So these are basically the key difference. So you have to look at it in a different context. We call it total cost of ownership. Some customers, they just look at consumer panel because the first cost is very cheap. But then when you think in the long run, I'm going to deploy this in numbers of years, right? And using a consumer paper is like every 1 year or 1.5 years, the lifespan is far shorter. So I need to replace it. And I keep replacing it every 1 or 2 years, right? Where then if you take an industrial e-paper, you don't need to replace it every 1 or 2 years. So actually the lifespan is far longer. So if you think from a long-term perspective, industrial e-paper actually save more money and give you more flexibility because you also can check on the health status. You can know exactly which is the one that's giving you issues and go straight to the area and replace the panel or what. Whereas with consumer paper is usually someone triggered to you, they can't see anything. Also, these are things that there are major difference between industrial and consumer. So look long-term when you look at your investment. Okay, so next we have Sabrina. So Sabrina is our ePaper product manager in Advantech Corp Limited, which is our HQ. So she will give you a much more details of what ePaper does. Okay, Sabrina.
Hello, I'm Sabrina Lee, your ePaper device product manager. Today I'm going to introduce you ePaper Solution Suite and the EPD-210 mobile app. Global warming continues to be a challenge. Managing climate change necessitates forest conservation. People consume 420 million tons of paper in 2015. Meanwhile, 15 billion trees are cut down every year. In this page, we are going to show you how we design our ePaper device. First, device management software capabilities help monitor the status of device. Delivering the EPD content and the firmware upgrade is exceedingly easy for system integrators. Third, it provides the content design UI. Drag and drop function easy the EPD Outlook format design. This also delivers edge event feedback and the multiple text capabilities to each ePaper device. Finally, it features a cable-less design for easy development. We can install EPD everywhere easily, creating a sustainable planet necessitates green design and reusability. This device on ePaper solution is designed for different size ePaper solution in different scenarios. This software provides a user-friendly interface to start up and run ePaper smoothly. We are going to show you two smart factory and smart building solution suite today. We provide device on ePaper device management software for the presentation of both device and the battery status. In this way, users are able to remotely control EPD device. The most important feature of device on ePaper is the image generator. Since all information shown on device are graphic, we offer a template editor to drag and drop image freely. User can set up data based on template module for automation image push. This makes production effective and simple. The next feature I'm going to introduce is account management. This helps manage the system. The last feature is service management. This provides image auto delivery and firmware upgrade over the air. This shows the image generator design page. Customers they don't need to worry about coding when arranging their EPD device. In fact, Advantech provides complete solution suite that help users start leveraging IoT. This is the Smart Factory Solution Suite. I will show you how EPD is deployed in warehouse and the production lines. This helps improve stock and the logistic flow efficiency. This comparison table will demonstrate the differences between Advantech EPD and the consumer price tag. Panasonic battery provide EPD with a large battery capacity. Today, we are going to demonstrate the battery-less ePaper solution. Our hardware and the software design can process multiple tasks simultaneously. Most importantly, ePaper support deployment anywhere within a factory and can be online by roaming feature. Take the EPD map from a smart factory application as an example. Whether in warehouse, on production line, semi-finished or finished goods, EPD enforces management efficiency. This is a real product architecture. We have edge EPD device that deliver and feedback data to device on ePaper software through router. The top layer is aimed at target field application. Customers can set up their own agent to run the ePaper solution suite. Managing ePaper solution without extra battery. Advantech strive to overcome the following pain point. First one, reduce human error. Second, increase productivity. Third, packaging recycling. Fourth, reduce content pollution. This scenario is aimed at smart warehouse application. Package sorting logistics necessitates the processing of thousands of boxes. We use C#DLL for integration with your management system and to change the image on the label automatically. We also provide mobile app that enable operator to change the image individually. We provide two ways to communicate with EPD-210. First is C#DLL object to integrate with your application. The second way is the use of a mobile app. Let's take a close look at our app. Okay, let's start make our own name card. First, please check your mobile phone and make sure the NFC feature has been turned on. After it's turned on, the NFC should function as the ISO 15693 standard. Now watch as I download the NFC tool. This tool can help us find out this information. As you can see, the detailed results are displayed on the right of the screen. This means your mobile can process our NFC ePaper. Okay, let's download the app named Advantech EPD NFC Writer from the Google Store. User can find couple functions button in the left side list after installation. The first button is the history example. If you are new here, you will see an empty block. The third function is NFC storage. We provide around 300 bytes for users to store their personal data. Here you can select the phone data type and then input your phone number. The next time the NFC card is tagged, a mobile phone will display a number for you to dial. Now we will come to the most important feature, template management. This app provides 9 template types. We will show you the 8 and the 9 template today. Okay, let's start our mobile app. You can select template. Now you can select your nameplate. Then you can put your name into the text box. Now I put Sabrina Lee. Then click complete. Now you can click to push. After that, you slowly move your card around to let your NFC card find where the antenna is on the mobile. Once the detection is complete, the red light will turn to dark green. If you see the light green, that means you are almost there. Just adjust your card until the light green light turns dark green. Once the dark green light appears, you may push the button to start. Be sure not to move the NFC card while the imaging and the power is transmission. Now let's examine a possible error event. In this case, your mobile cannot detect ISO 15693. As there are 2 types NFC, ISO 14443 and ISO 15693 on EPD-210. Your mobile might detect one of them randomly. Therefore, users need to remove the EPD from the mobile and then return it back, attempt at the subsequent detection. The app will show error by the red light shown in the video. Moving along, you may be able to select the self-defined template. Likewise, you may choose from 3 Outlook. A message box will appear asking if you would like to take a picture or select a photo from your mobile. You may select one of them. The app will show the image which you just select. Here is a tip for creating a better image. Be sure you have selected the dithering feature. This will help you smooth the image particle and the color. After that, you can fill the job title and your name. Lastly, you can push the button to transmit the image to EPD. Now, you have your own name card. The last function is our online device on ePaper connection. We are offering a 1-month free trial. You can design your own template by yourself.
This is 5.6-inch EPD, which is deployed in smart meeting room with Outlook Exchange. This is the smart warehouse, and we apply 2.9-inch EPD to help staff control. Next is our 5.6-inch EPD, which is applied in ACL factory to control workflow. Because of the wireless feature, Advantech EPD can be moved around in the factory. This is the smart bus stop, and this is the smart lighting signage. Both of them could be found in Advantech AIoT campus. Finally, this is 13-inch EPD, which is applied in smart hospital. It can provide eye-friendly information signage in war room.
You can even download your template to your app. If you are interested in device on ePaper, please contact us. Thank you for your patience today. If you have any more questions, you can email me or contact our sales team directly. Bye.
Okay, so Sabrina has actually given a good overview of the entire EPD series. So let me show you some real application that you can use for. This is one of them. This is basically an airline luggage plate. So China Airline basically uses our mobile EPD model, the EPD-210, as like a VIP gift card. So they can actually put at that luggage. Then they can also program it. They can scan and program it and change accordingly. So let's say you have an event, you want to put the company logo, the brand, and another application is also quite similar, but this time round is actually a Apple ODM factory. What they do is that they use AGV. You can see from here, they mount on the AGV. So this information can also switch and swap according to where they are. It's auto roam, auto pushed. Okay, so this is another potential application you can use. Another one is recently getting a little bit more notice of using EPD as a patient bedside notice. So the patient bedside notice, as you can see just now from the screen, you can also indicate the patient whether this person maybe cannot eat solid food, can only have liquid, or whatever condition this person is. This information that the nurse or doctor should know so that they can actually know what to do. Okay, so they can deploy at every patient bedside, and not forgetting they don't need power, in the sense of not say direct power. So you don't need electrical wiring to connect it. You can be battery. Also at the back end, you can also update all the information accordingly. So this is a very, very useful feature. So if it's a ready built hospital, you don't need to destroy the ID. That means you can actually maintain the whole thing and save you a lot of installation costs, save you a lot in terms of power costs, running costs, and also come to deployment is less of a hassle. So this is also getting a bit more, I would say, notice, especially when it comes to the healthcare sector. Next, I want a colleague to show you the settings and how to configure the EPD.
Hello everyone, I will introduce instructions for building an ePaper application using the NFC Agent. I'm here to introduce the system structure and its usage scenarios. Then I'll provide you with hands-on, step-by-step instructions. This is our product structure. As you can see, the ARC server is the core of the EPD system. If the other system needs to flash image request, it can transmit RESTful API to the ARC server. The subsequent image data transmission is processed by the ARC server. Next, the ARC server will transmit data to the device compo via the MQTT broker and flash image on the EPD-210. The NFC agent is installed on the system and connect by the NFC reader. In this scenario, the device on ePaper is deployed on the cloud, and the NFC agent is installed on the laptop. The laptop is connected with the NFC reader. The EPD-210 is on the logistic box. To change the EPD-210 display, you need to integrate it with the EPR-210. First, we need to install the NFC agent on your laptop or computer. Please open the folder and click Setup.msi. Follow the pop-up installation steps. Click Next to install. Log in to device on ePaper and click Item Data, then click Add. Create a new item data name. Here we are using warehouse for this sample. Click the button and select Upload File. You can see the data on the web after uploading the file. Upload the template file which is in the setup package. Follow the steps to click the button and save all settings. Following, we open NFC Agent. and key in the device on ePaper login information like server URL, username, and password. Then click Sign In. A new window will pop up. The upper left corner and the upper right corner of the window will display yellow and red light separately. This is normal when the device is not connected. Then connect EPR-210 to your laptop's USB port and put EPD-210 on it. Then click Refresh to detect the device and select the correct COM port. If all settings are followed up, the upper left corner and the upper right corner of the window will turn green light. This green light indicates that there is no problem with the connection between EPD-210, EPR-210, and device on ePaper. The NFC Agent has two modes. One is basic mode, and the other one is Q mode. Basic mode provides transmit image by selecting template and item data from device on ePaper. In the Q mode, you have to create job by transmitting RESTful API to the device on ePaper, and you can transmit image by selecting job in the NFC Agent. In the basic mode, selecting template in the NFC Agent will show the binding item, and you can preview the graphic. Select the template and select the item data. Then click Draw. The graphic will show on the EPD-210. In the Q mode, the job list is empty by default. You need to send the job to device on ePaper by transmitting RESTful API. The NFC Agent will keep the job at the same time. I use Postman to transmit RESTful API. Here. You need to send the correct header and body data. The header data and the body data. After click Send, the job will show in the NFC Agent. Here. Finally, after sending the RESTful API from Postman, you can see the job in the NFC Agent job list. When you click Draw, the selected data will transmit to EPD-210. In addition, you can open Auto Detect. When the EPR-210 detects EPD-210, the image will show on the EPD-210. I hope you enjoyed my presentation. Thank you for watching.
Hello everyone, I'm Dylan. I'm an RD at Advantech. I will introduce the EPD-210 electronic paper solution during this section. Electronic paper is an environmentally friendly and safe new product designed to replace traditional single-use paper. Today, we will introduce its main functions and provide a C# library that can be used by developers with ease. Advantech's EPD-210 solution comprises a 2.9-inch that is 296 times 128 pixel electronic paper solution and a dedicated NFC reader. EPD-210 using the NFC image reflection and rewrite empowers user data. Advantech provides a C# library with completely functions and a simple program with an operating interface. The following video explains this process. As shown in the figure below, the EPD reader is connected to the computer via USB. This puts the display on the electronic paper and provides a program for its use and control. It provides two writing methods. The first is a picture. This is used to convey graphic content. The second is the text data. This enables users to write information onto EPD-210's memory disk. In order to facilitate management, these data are hidden. Indeed, they can only be read and written by the reader. This EPD solution supports Windows and Linux. In this section, we provide a C# simple code, but users can choose a programming language that works for them. Next, let's take a look at the hardware specifications. EPD-210 is a 2.9-inch electronic paper solution that supports black and white functionality. It has total reflection features that can be seen under normal ambient light and remove the need for backlighting. It does not require a battery, but instead use a reader for charging. If it runs out of power, the last picture displayed will continue to be visible. Advantech provides a library that integrates into your original system with ease. EPD-210 is the matching reader which supports multiple standard NFC protocols, such as 15693, 14443, A and B, Felica, and MIFA. It also supports low power consumption via a USB 5 voltage power supply. It is small and light and has a power indicator. Likewise, its wide temperature design supports applications in most workplaces. The entire software requirement only necessitates 3 parts. These are the reader's driver, the development IDE, and the simple code contained within the library. After connecting the driver to the USB port, the operating system will be installed from the internet automatically. If you cannot connect to the internet, then download it separately. Please install Microsoft Visual Studio by yourself. We recommend using the 2017 version or above. Check whether the Microsoft.NET Core SDK is installed. Unzipping the simple code and directly in the final step. Open the solution file and run debug mode directly. The library provides the following methods or options. 1. Detect port. Detect the USB port connected to the reader. 2. Information. Get the basic tech information, including ID version such as. 3. Refresh pictures. This is the most important function for the display of pictures on electronic paper. 4. Rewrite data. Store the text content in the memory of the electronic paper. This is how the simple program runs. As you can see, we have tried to simplify its appearance. The first step is to click Detect Port. If the reader is connected, the port number will be displayed and the connection with the reader will be established. Then you can query the basic data of the tag, refresh the picture and write to the data. Except for the image refreshing function, multiple lines of code are required when generating images. Most of the other functions can be achieved via one line of code. We hope to simplify everyone's integration effort as much as possible. Let's take a look at the first example, Detect Port and ADV NFC wrapper. This is the main library. It provides all the tag functions. First, declare an NFC entity, and then call the getPort method to establish a connection with the reader. If it succeeds, then you can do all the operations on the tag. Obtain basic information such as tag ID or version. We usually use this to identify the current tag. The tag is protected by a PIN code. You must unlock this code before you execute it. Please note, the car will lock if the unlock fails too many times. Brute force unlocking, such as entering every number between 000 to 9999, is not allowed. Just like on a mobile phone, before setting a new PIN code, you must first unlock the device successfully. Let's try to use the simplest way to refresh the picture. First, open a dialog box and choose a picture file. The picture format is not limited. It can be a PNG, JPG, GIF, or a bitmap format. The selected image will be converted to bitmap format. It will then transfer to the tag for display. The picture size here will be resized to 296 times 128 pixels. If the picture ratio is too different, the image will become distorted. Because this is an ePaper solution, it only supports black and white output. The second example is the use of graphic objects. Painting the content of the pictures one by one takes more times. This example covers text size and font, QR code, and barcode generation. Completing the content perfectly requires knowing more about Canvas. The last part of the API is to read and write user data. Data is transmitted with 8 times 16 hexadecimal value for each block. Each tag has 80 blocks and can transfer so up to 320 characters. Developers don't need to process the blocks. As long as the string is passing in, the library will automatically convert and transmit it in batches. Each block will retry automatically 3 times. Next up is a hands-on demonstration. We will use a video to illustrate this example. The first step starts with the hardware. First, connect to the reader to the host and put a tag on it. Next, check if the driver is installed correctly. Open the simple code and try to execute each function. The first step is to connect it to the reader to the USB port on the host. If this is your first time connecting, check whether the driver is installed correctly. Next, open the simple program and run each function in sequence. Step 1. Detect the name of the connection port and connect to reader. Step 2. Read the information on the tag. Step 3. Flash a static image. The image folder in the simple program comes with a few images preloaded in advance. Step 4. Produce pictures programmatically to tag. Finally, read and write user data. I hope you enjoyed this introduction to EPD-210. Thank you for your patience. If you have any other questions, please contact us.